This week we're going to highlight the trade estimates for Friday's USDA monthly supply-demand report. We're also going to focus on a continued brisk pace of U.S. corn export sales and shipments. And we're going to wrap up focusing on weather in Brazil as well as U.S. weather trends. Hi, this is Brian Basting with Advanced Trading. Let's talk about the corn market. We've moved into April now, and once again, the corn market volatility is quite high. There's a lot going on, and at the front and center this week will be the USDA's monthly supply-demand report, which will be released on Friday, April 9th. Let's take a look at the trade estimates for that USDA supply-demand report. Now again, this is a monthly supply-demand report in contrast to that prospective plantings and grain stocks report that came out on March 31st. But sifting through the numbers here and highlighting corn, the key thing is this report will take into account the results of that grain stocks report. This report will reflect nothing from the prospective plantings report, but it will incorporate that grain stocks report. Notice that the average trade guess is about 125 million bushels lower at 1.379 billion bushels compared to March. A wide range of trade estimates, as you can see though. Unsure if we'll see near the volatility that we saw obviously on March 31st, but certainly this time of year we can certainly see a volatility associated with these reports. Wrapping up, looking at the South American projections, not much change, a little bit smaller crops expected by the trade in both Brazil and Argentina, but April will still be a critical month, particularly for Brazil. Let's move on now and focus on trends in U.S. export sales of corn. Now we're going to come back and focus on this. We're looking at a record level of unshipped sales of U.S. corn, and again, want to underscore that there's more than 550 million bushels more on the books to China this year compared to a year ago. That's going to be critical as we go through these last 5 months of the crop year. Now we want to highlight the trends in total export sales of corn, including shipments that have already been made. Now again, this slide shows the total sales, not only what's been unshipped, but also what's been shipped. You'll see we're all the way up to 2.588 billion bushels here for the 2020-21 crop year. Highlighting now that's 99.5% of the annual USDA forecast. So it really does place tremendous emphasis on Brazil now as we move into that critical time period. I want to continue to remind you though about that yellow flag about ASF cases seem to be rising again in China. Let's focus now on that weather trend in Brazil. Now again, this is the second crop. Corn makes up about 75 to 80% of that corn crop in Brazil. Looking at the maps here, key states include Mato Grosso do Sul, Goiás, and Paraná. Moving now to the precip totals for Mato Grosso. Notice as we move into the spring, our spring, April, May, and June especially, the precip really declines markedly. That makes this month, especially in May, critical for precip for that corn. Let's highlight the short-term weather trends for Brazil. Our slides, as usual, are courtesy of T-Storm Weather. We're focusing on the last 30 days here to give a proxy for subsoil. You can see the further north you got, it's a little bit more ample moisture, but boy, the further south you go across some of those key areas, it's quite dry. Next 2 weeks as we move on, we're looking at 2 inches above that red line, which is again in that area that's already got ample subsoil. So the concern now in Brazil is the areas south of that red line, if you will, those states, keeping a close eye during the month of April. Let's wrap things up now looking at U.S. weather trends. We're looking at a 14-day topsoil map here. You can see the area of biggest concern is that northern plains. Quite dry, especially in North Dakota. Some key areas up there we'll keep an eye on. But as you go further east here, most of the areas are in pretty good shape. A few spots of dryness, for example, across Missouri, but not a lot of dryness that we're seeing, not comparable to what we're seeing up in the northern plains. Our final slide here is looking at the next 10 days. 2 events. The first event is today and tomorrow across Minnesota, northwest Iowa, and the second event is next week from Sunday through next Wednesday, and that is across the Delta. So again, we'll keep a closer eye on U.S. weather definitely moving forward. Let's wrap things up today briefly looking at trends in December corn futures. Now you can see the market rebounded there after the March 31st bullish prospective plantings report. It's just shy of where the December 2014 futures were trading this time of the year in early April here, 7 years ago. So we'll monitor this for you moving forward. Now if you'd like more information, please feel free to contact us at 800-664-2321. We'll put you in contact with our risk management consultants. Be happy to visit with you at your convenience. And remember, we upload every Wednesday. Make sure to subscribe to our channel to never miss an upload. Thanks a lot. Have a good week.